and welcome to All There Is. I'm your host, Kelly Bargabas. Thanks for tuning in today. This podcast is designed to share the human experience, and in doing that, I tend to share a lot of things that are on my mind. What I want to talk about and share with you today is what I believe about time. There was a specific event recently that really just kind of blew my mind and confirmed it for me. Time is a mind trick to me. It's a mind trick. I don't think our human brains can really comprehend time as we try to understand it and know it as modern day humans in this world. And I think that's because we were never meant to. Sure, God did create the natural cycles of time, right? The day, the week, the seasons. He created the sun and the moon and the day and the night, the seasons, the light and the dark. But I think it's us humans who've assigned all the meaning to it, right? I don't know that God intended for us to be so consumed with time, with age, with years, with how long things take, right? I think it's us humans and our brain that have tried to assign all the meaning to it. I just don't think that's possible. I mean, we are obsessed with time, right? I mean, there's so many songs about it, right? As soon as I started talking about time, I start thinking of time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future, right? Steve Miller, Cyndi Lauper did a song, Time After Time. There's so many quotes about it. We're really obsessed with time, with years, with the measuring of our days. And as I get older and older, it just kind of blows my mind every time, especially now that I moved back to the Northeast, when I drive the streets and roads of my youth, when I go by the house I grew up in, when I drive down the streets of the town where I was a teenager and drive past the high school. My husband's father still lives like 4 houses past the high school we graduated from. And more than all the things that have changed, the age, the grown grass, the ugly paint, the chipped paint, the peeling paint, the houses that haven't been cared for, the town that hasn't been cared for. More than any of that, most of it really looks the same. The houses are still standing, the sub shop where I worked on breaks from college, my husband's house, his mother's plant, my Uncle George's farm, the roads, the buildings. There's so much of this still around. I can instantly feel like a 16-year-old again, riding those streets with the radio turned up, looking for the party, right? I mean, it really is a mind trick. I recently met with a few people that I graduated high school with. We're planning our 40th high school reunion. And a few of them I have not seen in person in more than 40 years. But sitting around that table in the American Legion of Sylvan Beach, New York, time vanished. And it was like we were back sitting at a table in the cafeteria. We knew each other even though we hadn't known each other in 40 years. I think there's something to be said for growing up with someone or knowing someone when you're young or someone you've been through shit with, and you develop this deep bond. You're tethered, you're connected, and it's ageless. And 40 years, right, my 40-year reunion sounds like a lot to our human brains, almost imperceptible. Like, how is it possible that 40 years have passed since I was that girl? Because on the inside, I still feel like her sometimes. But maybe it is so hard for us to wrap our brains around this concept of time and years and age is because that we've inserted that measurement into our human experience. We've made it human when it was never intended to be human. Maybe that is why it's such a mind bender. Now, I love movies about time travel. My husband and I love any movie with a time travel element in it. We are both fascinated with the idea of traveling back to another time. We eat it up. Any movie that has that element, we have to take a look at and see if we want to watch it. Time Traveler's Wife, there was a movie about that. The show, I couldn't really finish that because it did really feel like he was grooming that little girl, which was that's a whole nother episode. But I think one of our favorite time traveling movies is About Time. It's called The Butterfly Effect, The Greatest Hits. We just watched this one. This was a cool one where the person could listen to music when she heard certain songs. She actually went back in time. Now, how many of us have experienced that, right? Like a song comes on the radio and you are 16 again, you are 12, you are 21. You can instantly go back. I can do that with smells too. Sometimes I'll smell something and I'll be back in my dorm, my college dorm. There's a certain smell in the stairway, and sometimes I'll run into that smell and be like, oh my God, that is my dorm at Ithaca College. And how many of you have experienced deja vu? I still don't know what deja vu is or where it comes from, but I experience it, and I have my whole life. You know, deja vu is that feeling where you're in a scene, you're sitting at a table, you're talking to somebody, you're on the phone, whatever it is, and you swear that you had been there before, that this was familiar to you. Like you're in a present situation, it's happening right now and you're in it, but it's familiar to you. Like you remember it. So how do you remember something and also be experiencing it presently at the same time? I don't know that anyone has really figured that out yet. And that, again, is because time is a trick. Time is a trick. It fools us into thinking we've grown, moved on, that we're in a different place than we were before. It promises healing and wisdom and maturity. This human construct, intended to keep us in the right age, the right season, the present day of our lives, forces us to move on, but in numbers only. This man-made constraint is fluid. It's murky. At times, it disappears into thin air like magic. I'm 56. And my brother's 48. But the other day when his body folded in half, crumpled by the weight of choices and disease and life, went limp and sagged to the ground while I grabbed onto his sides and struggled to keep my own footing, struggled to keep him from slamming headfirst into the street. He's a baby and I'm a girl. That's us. It's always been us. Him strong and independent until he's not. Me chasing him so I can catch him when he falls. Time has changed nothing. I'm 56 and he's 48. But on that street, his limp body leaning up against my shins, holding him up while he comes to, his legs too skinny for a grown man, his weakness, vulnerability, precarious. He's a 2-year-old boy, and I'm 10. Time is a trick. This was a real moment that happened a couple of weeks ago in the middle of the street. And many of you heard me talk about my brother Bobby, and recently we got caught up in a crisis in his life, and it was really serious. It was very volatile. There was a lot of things happening. It felt like a life and death situation, and that's the framework, or that's the context of that piece I just shared. I'm happy to report that things have settled, and it looks like everything's going to be okay. So I'm sure some of you can relate. Anybody out there who's in a relationship, family, siblings, parents, friends, husbands, kids, wives, where, you're living in the present day and things happen and you just feel like, oh my gosh, I've been here before. I'm willing to bet there's other people out there who have experienced the trickiness of time and this human attempt at putting some guardrails, some measurement around our lives. It's all a mystery, and a lot of these things we will never have the answers to in this lifetime. I'm hoping in the next we'll get some clarity, we'll get some insight, we'll get some vision. But until then, even though time is a trick, I am going to keep on moving into the future. I'm going to live in this construct that we've created in our culture because I have to, but I'm always going to keep that portal open. I'm going to keep that time travel portal open, knowing that instantaneously I can feel like a 16-year-old girl again, and I'm going to let myself feel it. I'm going to go back in time every chance I get to re-experience the happy, the painful, the sad, the people that I've lost, the people that have changed, the people that have moved on, and I'm going to just go along for the ride, and I hope you do too. If you liked this episode today, please go out and listen to some other ones. All of them are available on kellybargabas.com. You can also find them wherever you find your podcast episodes. Please like, share, or subscribe. Until we meet again, take care.